Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show we have Shawn McArthur in the Missouri area, real estate entrepreneur. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
At the top of the show, Shawn, I like to ask my guests how they got into the real estate space.
Yeah, so actually, it started for me a couple years ago. I was actually active duty Army and was investing in the stock market during COVID and ended up doing really well. Thought I was great at investing in stocks, and then the world actually came back to normal, and I ended up getting obliterated in my stocks trying to day trade. And so I wanted something that I could actually was more tangible. I could run numbers. I had more control over it versus trying to throw an option out there. And unless you're super technical, if you are, great for you. But I realized that, started getting into flipping, just fell in love with the space, and actually left the military early to become a licensed real estate agent, and then started kind of just flipping from there. So
I've lost my shirt trading options. I thought I was brilliant, was making all this money, and then I bought a call option for Tesla, and then it just went in half. And that was the end of my thinking I'm a professional day trader.
very same thing. I think mine was GameStop. That was the one that was the moment that sparked it for me. I had done really well in a bunch of investments, and I thought I was doing really good, and I lost $10,000 in 10 minutes because I was in a meeting, and it went from my call option I bought for $20 went to over 10,000. It crashed back down to nothing within 20 minutes, and I was like, all right, I can't, unless I'm gonna be a full-time person, I'm out of here. No way.
Yeah, man. I remember where I was when that happened. I had just gotten out of the car business. I was in a real estate wholesale company, and I had placed this trade in a meeting, and similarly, it just started crashing. And then mine wasn't that fast, but over the period of the next 2 days, I lost half of my portfolio because I was just YOLOing into Tesla.
Yeah.
And then I learned okay, let me look at this real estate thing a little bit more carefully, and let me stop doing that. And pretty much since then, I've been not today trader, but I digress. So you going from military to civilian world, realtor. Did you get licensed in Missouri? Was that the first stop for you?
I did. Yep. Yeah. Literally right outside the military base we were stationed at. I just got I actually ended up buying, or working with the first team that I bought my home with here. Just really ended up falling in love with that team. I just really loved their passion, their mission, and it really aligned with a lot of the core values we had in the military. So jumped straight in from there, and yeah, just kind of really took off from there. I ended up selling, I think, 30 houses in my first 6 months as an agent, which was really cool. It just was different. Just a lot of people in the real estate space, I'm sure, you've seen too, just they don't really want to put the work in. And so as long as you have the right systems, if you put in the work and the ethic, work ethic, you'll have results. It just takes that time and that consistency, which a lot of people lack. So
30 homes in 6 months is absolutely nuts.
yeah.
Wow. So you must have been working for a heck of a broker.
Yeah, it was an awesome team. They've got great systems and processes, which we could have a whole other podcast just on systems and processes. But like, a lot of systems and processes dialed in, and then I just put the exact same work ethic. I mean, the military, I get to on base around 4 a.m. and would go home at 7 or 8 p.m. every day. And I just kind of brought that same mentality to the real estate space. And if you've ever met a real estate agent, a lot of them, they don't like to treat their business as a business. They
Yeah.
think because they're an agent, they can work whenever they want to. It's true, but your results kind of follow from there. And so I just didn't. I was at the office every day before, by 8, 7:30, stayed there till 6 or 7, worked weekends, and the results kind of followed from there. So
It's not all selling sunset, like that the
it's not.
TV show. It's really a grind. And for me, I've started to carve out a niche for myself. I'm brand new, newly licensed in the last 2 weeks, and I have a ton of respect for stories like yourself because it is truly rare. Like I can count on one hand the number of people that come out of the gate doing, half of the volume that you did in the first 6 months. So you go from there, you're making good money, selling homes. At that point, are you looking at real estate portfolio? Is that on the horizon?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, so I mean that was always my passion, and I'm sure we'll touch on it later too, like where I'm at now with it. But that was always my passion. I actually flipped my very first home towards the tail end of me being in the military. It was actually a meth house, so I
Yep.
really dove straight into there. In an awesome neighborhood, you would never have expected it, but the entire basement had to be meth remediated. Disaster. Didn't end up losing money, didn't make any money, but it was a very well worth it education.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the goal was always to invest into real estate. So as I was building the real estate as an agent side, I was learning and in courses and joining mentorships and trying to learn that side to kind of slowly pick that up.
There's nothing quite like flipping a meth lab, Sean.
It is. I'll tell you that I wouldn't recommend it for your first one. If you're out there, don't do it. Stick to something else. Wholesale that one maybe.
It's a lot of work, and I know in some cases even like they if it gets I don't know the exact designation, the home has to be like torn down, so it can be quite a huge undertaking. So you had that deal, become licensed, you're seeing money coming in. Are you then looking at more fix and flips? Is that the next move?
Yeah, so really wanted to get the active income dialed in. So right now we'll talk about the progression there into the multifamily space, but really it was we want to get our systems dialed in into the fix and flips. And so I actually talked to my team leader. He had kind of was like, "Hey, I want to get more into the investing space." They kind of pulled out of it a little bit, and I just was really passionate. I'm in Pace Morby Sub 2 community. I had done some Ryan Pineda courses, kind of a few different things there. And so I was like, I'm ready. Let's partner up. So basically, I talked with him and said, hey, I done a couple on my own, partnered with a contractor. Didn't all go super great. We can dive into that too if you want to. But then I decided to partner with him and kind of just started the real estate business. Where our team sells 600 to 700 homes a year, which is crazy, especially in our market is about 10,000 people.
Yeah.
So we've got like 25% market share almost, which is crazy. Yeah, it's a whole other thing there too. But yeah, so we kind of partnered with him, and I was like, hey, I want to kind of get this going. So we started slow, just started picking it up, and really just giving agents another tool in their tool belt to be able to help them and help serve sellers at a higher level.
So at this point, and it sounds like you were really focused entirely on scaling up your real estate business as a realtor. So it wasn't at that point, hey, let me work on fixing and flipping. But then quickly, as you're getting more closings and you're seeing the benefits of the work that you put in, you start to take a look at, well, how do we develop a strategy to scale with fix and flips?
Exactly. Yeah, so I did that 30 in like the 6 months, and then my first full year did 55. And then was like, all right. So after that, what I really wanted to do was have a good understanding of the business before we 100% dove into the fix and flips. I wanted to see my potential there and see what that path looked like. I found out very quickly that that wasn't for me long term. If I never showed another home in my whole life, I was cool with that. I was the guy who was always paying showing partners and just didn't love showing homes. So we kind of pushed it from there and rolled on to, as we got past that, now focusing more on the fix and flips and just kind of transition slowly out of the realtor space more heavily into the fix and flips.
Wow. This is really a remarkable story because I think a lot of people would have felt like you sold, almost 60 homes in that first year, right? And then you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go into fix and flips. And so it's like you got to the pinnacle of the sport and then you hung up the jersey like Jordan in, what was it, 92 or 93. And so it's remarkable to think about. But as you then go into fix and flips, is it a deal where, hey, I got to reestablish myself, I got to learn the skills of the trade? Did you partner with people? How did that work to where it was a smooth transition, or was it bumps along the way?
Yeah, definitely bumps along the way. I did a couple on my own before I partnered with our team leader on them, and those did not go super well. So I was actually telling our team recently that I paid for a lot of education intentionally, and I also unintentionally paid for a ton of education. And when I mean that, I mean lost a ton of money on some flips because just partnered with the wrong people, which is, as I found, the wrong partnerships are worse than a bad deal. I had the right deal, I had the right numbers, but I had a bad partnership, and the contractors didn't do what they were supposed to. And I found out later had been stealing, and so that had really. I was like, all my numbers are dialed in. We're selling it for exactly what we thought we would. Why are these going over budget? Why are they taking too long? And just realized I was with the wrong people. Since I had changed partnerships, I never lost money again on a deal. Deals have been going faster, and so that just pushed to that partnering with the right people. So
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
What do you feel about people learning the skills of being a general contractor themselves when they're going into these flips? I've spoken with and been around flippers, and it feels like if you're in the flipping game, it does behoove you to gain some level of fluency with general contracting work so that when you go onto a site, you pretty much know what's going on.
that was if I could impart one piece of knowledge to anybody, that's what it would be. It would be, if you're the operator running the business, you at least need to know enough of the language, what is right and wrong, to go in there and go, hey, this is too expensive, this is taking too long, you're not doing this right, you're stealing from me there. When I first started, I didn't. So my thought was, let me partner with a contractor who I know will take care of me and is super, in this business. We'll split profits. They're going to take care of us because we're aligned on the back end. So they're, of course, going to take care of us on the front end because our profits are aligned. Well, not necessarily. If they can make all their money on the front end, don't have to worry about profits, that's kind of the problem. So yeah, I learned the wrong ways there and just didn't understand the space. I mean, I didn't even think I owned a screwdriver until 2 years ago. Like, I just never did any of my own maintenance, nothing. And now, I'm going into houses and saying, hey, this mudding and taping's wrong, and hey, you need to paint better. Hey, this drywall doesn't look incorrect, or you need to texture this differently, and you start learning the lingo. Now, do I know
Yeah.
how to go and mud and tape? Absolutely not, but I know what right looks like. So
I know what right looks like. Yeah, 100%. That's the way I would say it. Like, you want to be able to go into these sites yourselves and know if it's on schedule, but if you don't know what you don't know, then literally you won't. And so I can't tell you how many people, Shawn, that I've spoken with who are in your shoes when you were looking at that first flip. You're going into a site, things are over budget, over time, and not sure where the money's going. It feels just like a money pit. And so very quickly you got to learn, hey, I got to partner with the right people, and also, I got to understand a lot of this myself. But pivoting a bit here, Shawn, so you go and you get these first flips. Couple in the beginning didn't go so well. You licked your wounds and partner with the right people, and now you're scaling. And you've you still have your real estate license, but your focus is on the fix and flips. So now you have the right partners, right people, you know how to underwrite the deals, not losing money. And so at this point you're thinking, I'm going to go and I'm going to scale this, and how do I scale it?
Exactly. Yeah. So from there, really, it was we were doing 1 or 2 deals, and then we went to 4 deals a year, and then now we're at probably 3 a month. So it really scaled really quickly. And so, really, as mostly it was about finding the right people and then putting processes in place. If you have to reinvent the wheel every single project, it's going to take a ton of your time, and that's what I was finding was it was eating a ton of time up. I'm always at job sites, and you can't be getting more properties and running numbers and comps if you're also having to be at the projects babysitting contractors and babysitting the project. So what we had to find was we need the systems in place so that way there's going to be little nuances, but for the most part we're using the same paint, using the same flooring, we're using the same connections. For the most part the houses are looking very similar, and so you're able to scale a lot faster from there if you don't have to go in and reinvent the wheel every single time. And if you're using the similar contractors, or even better, if you've got a contractor guide to give them, then they know what to do. They know what they're looking for. They don't have to ask you on every single item because they already kind of know the standard.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Now, when you're finding 3 deals a month, acquisitions has got to play a huge role in this. So are these off-market properties that you're finding? Are you getting them off of the MLS? What's your acquisition strategy?
So really, it makes a both. So the majority of them are off-market properties, and I would say there's a lot of different freeways. So we're not doing any paid marketing. At least our company, the flipping company, isn't. So what we're doing is we're partnering with the agents. So our team leader, they're always getting in new real estate leads, and so what we do is we go in there and say, "Hey, we've got a cash offer program." And so when people come to the agents, it's a benefit to them because now they're getting in more homes. A lot of people that say they want a cash offer, most of the time they don't really want one or they don't need one,
Yeah.
and so it gets them in more doors. And then two, the ones they do need it, that allows us to go in there and say, "Hey, no problem, let's get a cash offer," and we're able to get that to them really quickly. We actually just got 2 under contract today from an agent that we've probably bought 4 from so far because she understands. And you'll start to see this too. The ones that you've worked with before and they see how beneficial the cash offer program is. There's a lot of investors out there, as you know, that aren't actually closing on deals. So
Yeah.
if you can prove yourself that, hey, we're going to close on deals, we've every single deal we've gotten under contract, we've closed at 100% of asking price, every single one. We don't renegotiate. We're not trying to go beat these people up. We're trying to go in on the front end, tell you where we're at, and then we're going to close every single time.
So
So
at this point, you have the referral network of realtors who, if they are presenting this offer to their client, they have a couple different ways. MLS, cash offer. We have Shawn McArthur. He closes. So if you want to sell your home quickly, here's your cash offer. So at a certain point, the man hours that you're having to put in to acquire these deals is effectively becoming offloaded by the reputation that you've built and by your past work.
exactly, like they're finding the deals for us. They're pitching the sellers on the deal. They're actually running the numbers. We actually have a whole system and process for them. So they actually have to give us comparables when they go there because if they're going to do it anyways, they're already going to list the house if we don't buy it anyways.
Yeah.
So before we were doing all the legwork and I was spending 45 minutes to an hour per deal. Well, if you're looking at 30 deals before you find one, that's a lot of time per week that you're not able to focus on other stuff. So we've got some really great systems now that we use to make it faster, and then we just compare that to what the agents send us, make sure they're pretty aligned. Send them a quick 70% value for the most part, and good to go from there. We know very, very easily now and quickly whether it's a good deal for us or it's not going to be. We know what our numbers are, and we're not swinging outside the batter's box to try and get a deal. That's where we went wrong before, and where we've really scaled back is just knowing what our buy box is, and outside of that, hey, we'd love to help you, but it's just not going to be a great fit for us at this time.
Yeah, I mean, fixing and flipping is no small task right now. Margins are getting slimmer and slimmer. I know many people, when you talk about the trajectory of a real estate entrepreneur, people might go from wholesaling to fix and flipping. I know a lot of people now, based off the degree of difficulty and the smaller margins, are now looking at hard money lending and note buying, so on and so forth. And so you're exactly right. Like people looking at getting a property to fix and flip and maybe overpaying for it, but then thinking they'll make it up in the appreciation. Um, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's that's a very dangerous game to play, especially as rates change and the markets. We've seen literally since we started this, rates have gone from 2% to 8%, back down to 7%, then to 6, now back to 7. So like, and buyers this whole time are like, it's a roller coaster. So you've got to really have your numbers dialed in because if you end up holding this project for 6 months, do you have numbers that can support that, or are
Right.
you running your numbers based off of best case scenario for everything? That's where I went wrong. I used to run my numbers with, well, I think we can sell it for a little bit more. I'm sure we could get this thing done in 3 weeks, not 2 months. And that's really where you have to really see what your averages are and go off that. Your KPI is better than anyone else does. You've got to see what the market's doing and give yourself some buffer. It's better to not buy the deal and pass up on it. Maybe it's a great fit for someone else than to buy a bad deal.
So at this point, we're doing 3 deals a month, humming along. Basically, the dollar spend for the acquisition of these leads is minimal to none because of the reputation that you've built, the realtors that are bringing you the deals. But you're also now in the multifamily space as well. So have multiple different items cooking on the stove. How did you get into the multifamily space?
Yeah, so really it's a progression of what we really wanted to do. A couple different things too is so as we're doing these cash offers, we're starting to see a bigger need. So what we're doing is one, we're adding in more tools to our tool belt. And a lot of that's we're going to create a finance, seller finance, subject to, a lot of those things. When all you have is a hammer, every single problem is a nail. But not all sellers, not all problems are nails. So it's just finding different ways to be able to solve those problems. And multifamily was a problem we were able to solve for a lot of agents. What we found was a couple different things. We have a lot more control in the multifamily space because we're not dependent on comparables in the market. It's based off of the value of the rents, which
Yeah.
if you watch real estate trends, rents don't have the major ups and downs like real estate prices do because interest rates jump to 7, rents are pretty solid. They may actually go up a little bit because people can't buy. So we're able to control that more. And now we're able to solve an issue that we're finding that there was a gap that agents wanted was to how do we invest in real estate? And so that we were able to solve a problem there too.
Okay, so you're seeing the relative stability in the multifamily space. You're familiar with the acquisition strategies associated with fix and flips. And did you apply any of those to multifamily acquisition, or were you getting these deals off the MLS as well initially?
So a little bit of both. These deals have been a little bit tougher. A lot of the agents that we work with focus on residential. They're not. They honestly don't even understand the commercial space at all, and so they'll bring us deals every once in a while. A lot of these we've actually found on the MLS. The good thing with our area, we're looking at other markets, eventually too. But our area, there's not a ton of investors buying because they just don't understand what the values look like. A lot of times it's just a smaller market. We're not having the big outside investors come in there. And so what we're able to do is go talk to these agents and just work out really good deals with them. We can look at rents really quickly and kind of see the value there. But really, what we're looking for is we're not trying to go into the multifamily space and do massive flips with them. What we're looking for is rental arbitrage to be able to
Yeah.
like jump rents up a little bit. So we just closed on a 12 unit in Lake of the Ozarks a couple weeks ago, and we added almost $300,000 in equity, literally just the day we bought it because we can improve rents about 150, $200 a unit for 12 units. It's a pretty good jump in value right there without doing any remodeling.
So let's talk about rental arbitrage. So when I
Yeah.
hear the term rental arbitrage, I'm thinking you're renting a place and then you either short-term Airbnb type situation or like you mentioned increase the rents. But it can be a difficult proposition for the landlord because the landlord's like, well, why don't I just do that? So how are you going about rental arbitrage?
Yeah, so what we're looking at is honestly most of these that we're finding, the our really sweet spot are the properties that the owner is also the property manager, he's the contractor. So these guys have been the one at the lake, for example, is he's been managing this property from he lives 45 minutes away. He took it over from his dad, and awesome guy. He was amazing, but he was managing all 12 units of these by himself. He also had another apartment complex of 40 or 50 units in town that he's also managing by himself. And he's doing a lot of the maintenance and the scheduling the maintenance, and he's doing all this by himself. And he's getting to retirement age. So some of these units, he hasn't raised the rents in 3 years. They're $700 a month, literally lakefront apartment complex, 2 bed, 1 bath. In the exact same complex, there's another one for $1,100 a month, 3 doors down. He just felt bad, didn't want to raise the rent on the people, and so we just see that immediately and go, well, if these three are renting for 1,100, this one's renting for 700. There's a little bit of room to improve rents right there. So
I would love to be more involved in that, and I think it's going to be, people don't talk a ton about it. I have heard some people talk about it online, but you hear a lot about wholesaling, you hear a lot about creative finance, but rental arbitrage, I think this is like ripe for a bunch of people to dive into this and like innovate this space.
it's so beautiful because we don't need to go in and we don't need to flip it. A lot of people want to go in and overdo the apartment, so they want to go in and spend $20,000 a unit. Well, you have spent $20,000 a unit and you improve the rent $200. Like, it's a long time to get your value back. Well, what if we can improve it 150 and we don't even spend 5,000 a unit? That's a pretty good deal. Let's do that all day long. And
Yeah.
multifamily on top of that, we've got appreciation. Multifamily appreciates differently. We've got depreciation where we're able to improve taxes, and we're also having cash flow the whole time. There's a lot of ways multifamily we're able to help win.
I completely agree with everything you said. And I think, especially rental arbitrage and multifamily, like that's a new concept to me. The more I have these conversations, the more I realize that real estate operators and entrepreneurs, they have this ability to problem solve and to create unique and creative solutions to different problem sets. And that's really the greatest unifying factor that I see among high level real estate operators. It's not just like, hey, I'm great at underwriting deals or I'm great at networking. It's this ability, I call it like entrepreneurial or real estate neuroplasticity. Like you have to be able to adjust and adapt, like you talked about. Military to real estate agent to single family fix and flips to now multifamily, rental arbitrage. Like you're able to just keep on adjusting the business strategy.
You have to, because entrepreneurs, honestly, what we're doing is we're solving the world's problems. And so affordable rents, good places to live, people want to know where to invest money. And so that's what we're able to also solve a problem there with agents and people that want to partner. They're like, hey man, I really don't want to do this myself. I want to focus on my superpower. I really want to focus on whatever I'm doing. A lot of agents don't really want to learn all this because there's tons of years of practice and messing up and spending money, and they just want to be able to put their money somewhere and know it's in a good investment and be able to invest in real estate, not just work in real estate. And so that's a huge thing we're able to help solve there for them. And on the flip side, we call our organization Changing Lives Investments, because that's really what we see ourselves doing, is we are able to help change the lives of not only the people who invest with us, our team members, that kind of stuff, but also the tenants that we're working with. Like we're putting them in great locations, very safe homes, and we're able to help provide that, which a landlord who's trying to invest and run this on his own, he's maybe doing a
For
great
now.
job, but that's a lot to do on yourself.
For sure, for sure. We are coming up on time here, Sean. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so Instagram or Facebook's probably the best. It's at the Shawn McArthur. Would love to connect with you about real estate. If you have any questions on fix and flips, multifamily, I'll show you the communities that we're working on. Would love to connect with you.
Sean, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was great to be here.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.